flavors out of the Pop-Tart filling and get them into an actual fresh berry jam, kind of mixing the best of both worlds as part of this balanced breakfast. That was a great marketing ploy. That was a great scam to just be like, look, are these unhealthy? Sure, it's merely part of a balanced breakfast. Anyways, you want to get the knife in there and then just kind of drag it along, and then you can kind of flay it open. And you're just going to take the knife and you're going to scrape it along the jam. You're not going to get a ton. It's like when you scrape the seed pods out of vanilla, you're just trying to get enough to sort of, there we go. Just dab it in your pot. Right now, we're also going to take some fresh berries. We got strawberries. We're going to add them to a hot pot, and we got blueberries. Fun fact, I eat about 2 pounds of blueberries a day. That is a real statistic, along with a cup and a half of Greek yogurt. We're also going to add some raspberries in there, and then we're going to dump in a lot of sugar. And while this is cooking, I really want to take this whisk and I really want to force the sugar in there. It's a process called maceration, which you must say very slowly. But maceration is the process in which sugar will actually get into the cell walls of the berry and it will draw out moisture. We're just gonna let this cook down for about 15 minutes at a medium heat, and then that's gonna turn into a jam that we're gonna swirl into our cheesecake base. Woo! Baking's hard work. So we have our jam cooking down. Now we need to make the actual cheesecake base. I like slapping my stand mixer like it's a nice taut hog, you know? You go to a nice taut hog, you just kind of slap it on. I was at a farm this weekend and I was just like slapping animals. We're gonna make our cheesecake base, which as we mentioned before, is somewhat of a custard pie filling. And so I'm gonna go ahead and just shove a couple bricks of that Philadelphia cream cheese in there. Sponsor us, your city has no hope, the Eagles are garbage, Carson Wentz is done. Put that on my back, city of Philly. And now we're gonna take a fair amount of sour cream, and we're gonna take our sugar, and now we're just gonna blend it a little bit. You want your cream cheese to be softened, otherwise it's just gonna kind of bang around in this old taut hog machine. That's what this is now known as. This is the taut hog machine. Anyway, so hang out with these. You also wanna start slow. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna crack a couple of eggs into this very slowly, and then I'm also gonna add my vanilla extract. Why didn't I add it at the beginning? Unclear, truly. Again, just add things as you go. I'm gonna add the eggs one at a time. That way the eggs are in there also. Slowly. Here, let's just crack a couple eggs in while it's going. Ta-da. Whoop, and speed it up. Okay, so we have this creaming together. That's almost done. Just gonna take a look at this jam. It has gotten nice and reduced, but we see we still got a couple chunks, so I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna strain that jam off. Just again, we're gonna get the seeds out, and then we're gonna let that cool. All right, that's nice and good there. Anytime I'm straining something through one of these guys, I like to take it and just kind of scoop out from the grundle region. There we go, that's the good stuff. So you see, we got nice and thick and syrupy, somewhere in between a syrup and a jam. That's the exact consistency we want to go for, and that's gonna get even thicker when we let it cool and then actually blend it into the cheesecake. This is like the filet mignon of a Pop-Tart. Alton Brown was on Twitter talking smack about how like cheesecake is a pie and that's a fact. It's like, no, it's not. There's so many different types of cheesecake out there in the world. You got quesadilla salvadoreña, you got the bascasta tarta, you got Swedish oscaka. There's so many different ones that don't have a crust. Japanese cotton cheesecakes. You can't just say that cheesecake is one thing. You can say the specific style of cheesecake, one that we have made today, is certainly a pie, but you have to first ask yourself, what is a cheesecake? Can we talk about that in the podcast? I have to run all my ideas past Nicole because a lot of them are bad. I still like is the ocean a soup? Because it's a salty broth, there's meat floating in it and vegetables, and it's constantly rising in temperature due to climate change. Ergo, the ocean is soup. One time I swallowed a lot of ocean water when I was a kid and I threw up. I forgot something about jellyfish when I was a child. I don't like the ocean very much. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna take the jam, and I'm just gonna kind of dollop it in random parts, and then we're gonna use a crude tool to swirl it in there. We're just kind of dolloping this around, getting it in a random pattern. I'm gonna take this, I'm just gonna kind of fold it and just try and push some of the jam down there and pull up a little bit of that cheesecake filling. There we go. And then I'm gonna take a nice edge and just kind of give it Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man style pattern in honor of the 2002 release of Spidey Berry Pop-Tart to celebrate Spider-Man 2 featuring Dr. Octopus, my favorite Spider-Man villain. All right, now our cheesecake is ready to go in the oven. So what we're going to do is put the cheesecake into a large turkey pan. If you have something like a kettle with a spout, then you can kind of poke it in the oven and pour that gently around your cheesecake. That will prevent you from having to transport a lot of sloshing, boiling water into your oven. We ain't have no kettle in the kitchen, so I'm gonna teach you what not to do. So I'm gonna take the water and go, go, go. Okay, we want it not necessarily all the way up, but pretty far up that cheesecake. You can leave about 20% of the cheesecake sticking out. So now we're just gonna take this and put it in the oven at 375 degrees for about 55 minutes. And then it's a cheesecake, and then we're gonna decorate it, and then we're gonna eat it, and then we're all gonna have a good time. All right, so we have this cheesecake out of the oven. If you see, it's still got a little bit of wiggle, and this ginger needs her jiggle juice. So what we're gonna go ahead and do is make our sour cream topping. Iconic line. Come on, Brittany Snow as a redhead. What's not to love? Good movie. All right, so we're gonna take some sour cream, and we're just gonna do a nice purple sour cream top. So it's gonna look like a Pop-Tart, it's gonna taste like a Pop-Tart, but it's also gonna be cheesecake, and it's also a part of this balanced flavor. All right, so now we're gonna take a couple drops of that purple food dye and drop it in there and spin it up and see what kind of color we're at. We're looking for a nice color match. This is really an art project. Cheesecake to me is an art. All cooking is art, but cooking is also love and community. So now we're gonna take the sour cream mixture and we're just gonna pop it on top of this here cheese pie, and then we're gonna pop that in the oven just for about 15 minutes, and then I'm gonna eat a couple Pop-Tarts for energy. That's the thing about Pop-Tarts. You get all these people in marathons, right? They eat these energy goos and stuff. When I'm in the middle of a hard workout, I just suck down a couple Pop-Tarts. All right, so we have this all smoothed out, and I'm gonna go ahead and pop it back in the oven for just about 15 minutes to get the sugars and the sour cream to set, and then we have to let it cool for a bit. Whoa! Steel yourself there, boy. Be that nice girthy hog you wanna be. So this is just melted chocolate that's been dyed blue. Whenever you put chocolate in a piping bag, the tip is gonna get colder because there's less latent heat at the top than there is right there. And there is. That was not me doing a masticating motion. That was me trying to milk a cow, but I can see how it would look the same to you. I'm just gonna make kind of little crisscrossy squiggles, kind of like a DNA double helix shape, you know? Anyone? Remember science? Nope. This is Tobey Maguire's actual DNA pattern. I hope you like it. I should have had a plan to do this. So I'm gonna take some Pop-Tarts, I'm just gonna run a knife through it and get some nice little Pop-Tart crumblies to garnish on top. I just wanna take some of those actual Pop-Tarts and just give it a nice sprinkling on top of there. So here we go. This is a great way to save a dish. Tried to cook a filet for your in-laws, didn't work out, garnish it with some Pop-Tarts. I would've been awesome in culinary school. So we're gonna go ahead and take an offset and just try and jimmy the outside a little bit. We don't want anything to stick. It looks like we got a little bit of moisture from that crust because again, there is a lot of corn syrup inside the P-tarts. I call them P-tarts, some call them Pop-Tarts, some call it Sling Blade, I call it a Kaiser Blade, and that's fine. So now we're just gonna gently remove it. Wow, look at that. So this is called as a wet side crust. Nice and hard, but it's still wet, which is exactly what we wanted in our wet side crust Pop-Tart cheesecake, and there you have it. All we gotta do, we gotta slice this up, we gotta garnish it, make it all pretty, and then we're gonna feed our friends. I mean, look at the colors. All of the colors that exist in food in nature. You got your bright aquamarine blue and unsettling purple, and then that lovely little ribbon. I'm super stoked on this. I'm gonna dig in. It's got good structure, nice crumb on the Pop-Tart crust, that's what Paul Hollywood would say. That is very cool though, I'm very proud of this, and Tobey Maguire, you should be proud too. The first thing I hit you is the artificial Pop-Tart flavor, which is actually really nice coming from the bottom of that crust, and you get a little bit swirled in. That's great. It marries all that wild berry Spider-Man 2 nostalgic flavor that you have with the cheesecake. It's super fun, and also, I feel as if my breakfast has finally been balanced, because really I did eat just 60 grams of protein worth of yogurt before this, but that's my opinion that matters. I'm gonna go ahead and feed my friend Jake with the patented mythical spork camera.
Hi, Josh.
Jake, you ready to get sporked?
I'm so ready to get sporked.
I'm ready for you to get sporked.
Josh,
too.
this looks amazing.
Thank you, man. I'm very proud of it. I hope you're proud of me too. So I'm gonna try and cut you a whole slice of this cheesecake. Where are we at? I can't see.
You're doing gracefully.
There it is. Yeah. No, we're getting there. Gotta kind of, sorry.
Yep.
Okay, jimmy it. All right.
Okay.
Is that a bite?
Yeah.
I got a little crooked on it. Sorry. All right.
That's amazing.
Isn't it?
Yeah, it's really good. It tastes like a wild berry Pop-Tart. Amazing
Right?
job, Josh. Thank you.
Before you worked here, were you like, man, I wish wild berry Pop-Tart cheesecake was a thing that existed?
No, I did not.
Can you just lie and say that you did, Jake?
Yes, I was thinking Pop-Tarts, cheesecake, how could it not exist?
Jake, thank you so much for parroting all the lines I asked you to. Thank you so much for stopping by the Mythical Kitchen. We got new recipes out for you every week. We got new episodes of our podcast out every Wednesday, wherever you get your podcasts. Hit us up on Instagram at Mythical Kitchen with pictures of your mythical dishes.